My name is Martin Ocean. This is Millyz, and we're going to break down the ins and outs of his come up, his development, and his rap career.
Bow.
Obviously, hard ticket sales. You know what hard ticket sales are all about. What is like? When did you have that realization? Like, boom, can't be doing these club dates. Need to do hard ticket sales. When did you just have it, and what did it mean? What does it mean for an artist?
I think the first person who like put me on to hard ticket sales being a thing was Russ. Like I would watch Russ talk about,
Sick.
the difference between hard ticket sales and just doing club runs. And I started to take that into account, and I just turned up on trying to make myself a hard ticket artist.
Mm.
And it's not easy. I really realized the difference. So you got to put that work in. You got to put footwork in. It's not the internet. This is
Bringing
in
people
the
from their
physical.
homes.
Yeah, you got to make
Yeah.
somebody come dedicate their whole night to you. They might got to get a
Save the money.
babysitter for their kids or whatever they going. They might got to take work off. You never know. Spend their money. Yeah, they
Hard-earned
dedicating
cash,
a
yeah.
whole experience to you. So that's when somebody's a real deal fan. So when you got those fans, but it gets lucrative down the line.
Definitely. And you could see that even last night, the fans, your fan base, because you're such a storyteller, your like lyrics are in depth, they're real, they're painful. You can see that in last night in the fans knowing every word. They're there. You don't have an average fan base. They're there to dedicate. They want to be there. They're there to rap along to every lyric.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Like that's incredible to me, honestly. I couldn't ever imagine that it was gonna be like that, before like the people that I have a sold out show in London and they know my shit word for word for word.
Still
for
surreal,
word.
yeah, it still feels
like
surreal.
I don't think there was a song that I did yesterday that they didn't know.
Sick. Yeah. No, I love that. So I want to bring you back to 2014, a very big year. Yeah, make the trip down from. So is Cambridge far from NY? How far of a distance would that be? Would it a few hours?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Manchester to London, pretty much.
Manchester, London, love it. So you make the trip. You're in New York now. What was that feeling like? You knew you want to, I want to network. I want to build a name here. What do I got to do? You start turning up parties. You start turning up club dates. What was your mindset? You're in New York. Was it straight, I got to build relationships? Or what was that time? What was that mindset like at the time?
Yeah, it was just I just wanted to build a network, at any cost. I just wanted to meet people. I had nothing to do, so I was by myself.
Mm. Was it scary at all? Was it?
I'd say like lonely, maybe.
Lonely. Gotcha.
Because you come from a place where you got all this support. If you feeling the way, if you feel like you gotta switch your vibe, you could go down the street, or you could go link somebody that you're cool with. You can have a drink in the park, whatever you do. Go to somebody's house. You could go around your old neighborhood. There's all these like comfort zone factors that I didn't have once I moved to New York. Where I had to build my own circle of people.
Yeah.
Like it's different when you come from having a support circle, and you go to a whole place and there's nobody
deep
there.
end.
All you could
You're in
do
the
is
deep
call
end.
somebody on the phone. So, I adjusted to that, and I created my own circle out there, but I had to learn to do things by myself. I had to learn to go to the club by myself. I had to learn to just move around by myself, go to events by myself when I was used to actually going to things with a gang of people. Yeah.
No, most definitely. So you build a foundation, you start building relationships. How powerful, as someone who comes across as like a great network, because the way you move, your grounded authenticity. If people mess with you, they really mess with you just because how grounded you keep yourself. How important and powerful do you think building them relationships ended up being during the trajectory of your career?
Man, it's everything. It's like building your foundation on concrete opposed to sand. A lot of people build their foundation on sand, and when the wave hit it, that shit crumbles. My shit built on concrete. You know what I mean? It's important to have your foundation built on concrete, and I think it takes longer, you know what I mean? But I laid that, and it came back for me, like, in my career when I started getting some national exposure. A lot of the people that I met along the way were vouching, oh, I know him. Oh, but even when I'm starting to move around city to city now, I got a whole network of people, that I know. I've been in LA. I've been in Atlanta. I've been in New York. I've been around when I was a nobody.
Gotcha, yeah. Shaking hands. And it's so powerful too. There's a few things you touched on there. First of all, the sacrifice, going to like being out of your comfort zone, going to New York. Second of all, knowing to build a foundation on, like, so powerful, because a lot of artists, up and coming artists, they want it quick. Everything has to be quick when you know how many years it took of like hard work to get there.
Yeah, honestly, if I knew how many hard years of work it took, I would have probably quit before.
Man, I wouldn't be here interviewing either.
Yeah, so I can't even say, like, I wouldn't, like, when an artist, like, I wouldn't want to give an artist my path, you know what I mean? Like, going back on it. But although I enjoyed the journey, you know, so that's what kept me going. I thought I was the biggest rapper at every stage of my career. But I'm also a realist. Like, you know, I see things how they are, not how I want them to be. So I learned to understand when I'm not the biggest artist.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, I always felt like I was the man from a young level. And I think that helped me out on the journey. Enjoy the journey, you know what I mean?
Most definitely. Even your confidence came through last night. You knew the moment you worked hard for this. You could see the confidence. Something else I just wanted to, something else I want to touch on is another big moment, I think, is 2016, the BT Cypher. You went 2014, try get in there, it didn't work. 2015 didn't work. 2016, boom, you get your opportunity. As soon as you have that moment, obviously Charlemagne the God, who else? DJ Envy said it was one of the best verses. At that moment, did you like turn to Bryce? Did you turn to Ceeze, the whole management, like, this is what we got to focus on? Let's hit these freestyles now. Or was it like, oh, let me see what happens? Or was it a very clear plan?
Yeah, nah, it wasn't that clear yet. It took, I think I started doing freestyles with Static Selector. And one of those had a good response. And then I kind of like dialed in a little more, like, hold on. That after I did one with Static that kind of did all right, then I came up with another one where I was like, all right, like, I'm going to really try this and try to go viral off this. So I knew I hit Static. Yo, let me back in there. I'm going to go crazy.
You weren't afraid to drop the message straight away.
Yeah. And that's when it really turned up, when I started going in with the intention, like, oh, I'm about to go viral. Like, I didn't know I could really gain a following off of that before. Once I did, it was up. And you know what I mean?
Game on.
Yeah, from there.
I just want to ask you a question about your writing, cause like you seem like at any point you might have just 10 verses ready to go. Snoop Dogg has a very good line about always have your gun loaded, and no matter what, in terms of like stories and storytelling and bars and whatnot. What's that process like for you writing? Are you still on paper, pad, laptop, phone? What's that process like? You writing in the morning, evening?
So it's funny because Snoop got the line, always have your gun on you in terms of like rapping. And when I talked to Benny, when I did the song with Benny, he wrote such a crazy verse for my album, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And he was like, yeah, you know, like, sometimes I got my gun on me, sometimes I got my knife on me. You somebody I need my gun on me for, that. You know what I mean? That, that just made me think of that. But I write either sometimes like all my singing shit that I do, like anything I've ever sung, like I freestyle that, just like anything. I freestyle that song for song. I freestyle Spiral, I freestyle you know, all of them type of singing songs, anything Ashes in the Maybach. When I'm singing all of my singing parts, I just get in front of the mic and I just start humming something until the words come. But the verses, I write them down. Like, I write them in my phone, or sometimes I write them in my mind. It just depends. But yeah, I don't touch the pen and paper.
Did you stare at them pen and paper just out of curiosity?
Yeah, of course. Hell yeah.
8 mile. Also, I just wanted something too. In terms, are you an on-the-go writer? Like, and in terms of being prepared, like as an artist, like how important do you think preparation has been? So like, I want to bring you back to them freestyles. Like how, like, you know you're supposed to be there. You've done the 10,000 hours. How important do you think preparation is for an artist?
Well, somebody told me along the way. They told me preparation is confidence. So when you learn preparation is confidence, you know you want to be confident, right? So you got to over prepare. I like to. Nipsey also got a line. He said, "I gotta cross my T's and dot my I's, or I can't sleep well."
Love
I'm
that.
really like that.
Nipsey.
You know what I mean? So for sure. But preparation is everything. Preparation is confidence. You want to be confident.
Big facts. No, that's sick. Definitely should be noted by any independent artist.
And that's why, like, even like if you think about a fighter, like in the fighting field, like somebody who could really fight. Why you think their confidence be so high when somebody could be approaching them and they cool as a, you know what I mean? They cool as an air conditioner, because it's like, I know, like, I'm prepared for this situation. My confidence is super up here. I don't got to panic about nothing because I'm prepared. prepared, and it's just like that as an artist too.
I love that, dude. I love that. One last thing I want to touch on is 2020. Unfortunately, you got a little sick in 2020. You got the bounce back. I want to bring you back to then. All the rappers, all like the BS of rap starts to show in 2020. Rappers ain't able to get their haircuts, all showing their true colors. When you got sick and you came back, was there a penny drop again on the moment? Again with the freestyles? Oh, I see an opportunity here. Let me go for it, because 2020 seemed to be like such a year you made like a real big impact.
Yeah, it was that. I saw that people were gonna have to rap because all the antics had went away. So I saw it was back to rapping, and I also dropped a song called RLS, Real Life Shit, and it got a good response. And I said, oh man, maybe people are ready for this type of music. You know what I mean? And yeah, for the first time in the world, I mean, for the first time in my career, you know, it was just like the world was very accepting at that time of pain music, emotion based.
The world was going through it. They needed something to relate.
And people always fuck with that, but it's like it's hard to see through sometimes because the other shit, you know, it's like a distraction. It's like a smoke screen.
No, I completely agree. But as we were saying, once it does hit, it connects, and that's unstoppable.
For sure, and you get that lifelong connection with a fan. You know what I mean?
Like I really feel like you have the type of fan base that 10 years from now they're still going to come back just because of the connection you built.
Yeah, nah, God willing. And it's like, you know, that's the difference between doing like emotion-based rap versus like even like being a pop type rapper. Because as like a pop type rapper, you know, people that's the casual fan. So you might got a song that does 100 billion streams, but that's the casual fans. And they only there for what the machine feeds them next, whatever the club feeds them next, whatever. The people who really seek out the artists that they like and they ride with you like that, it's different.
They listen on the headphones going to work. They listen to it when they're down, when they're up.
It's different.
Yo, so what's good? My name is Finn. We're here in London with the legendary Millyz. And I have one question that I noticed in an interview you said that really resonated with me. And that was around you saying the way you invest your money and the way you have like built everything. And I think just for our audience, something that would be incredibly valuable was to hear where you think artists really should be investing both their time and their money, and where you saw that investment go and how you kind of approached it as well. Because I saw you say that you were like, I'm not worried about the direct return now, I'm worried about the direct return later. I'd love for you just to break that down and see what you say.
Yeah, so just reinvesting in yourself at all times. You know what I mean? Any money that came in for me, I reinvested it into myself. I never try to trick on a lifestyle or like you know, spend money on a lifestyle. Some people get it confused, especially in rap. They say maybe if I go to the club and maybe if I do this and that with the money I could. Nah, you got to keep putting it back into yourself, and you also got to know when to not like cash out. Some people that get like a bag and be like, all right, I got this little whatever it is, 60K from like a label for this project or something, I'm gonna go have fun with it instead of reinvesting that. But you gotta put that back into your brand. Don't ever think it's over, and you know, step over pennies to get the dollars. That's what I would say. Like sometimes you gotta look at things that's not gonna be beneficial in the short term, but in the long term it's really gonna be beneficial, you know. So I always wanted my brand to look like a major brand. Even when I was independent, I always, if I gotta spend that extra money to get one other homie out there with me, like, you know, so we could have a proper rap entourage like the major rappers got, like we was doing that, or like whatever it was, things like that.
Did that happen, like when was that flick switch? Was that something from the beginning you came into the industry and you were like, no, this is how it's going to be? Or was it like, was there a certain lesson that you were like, shit, this is actually how I have to move, and have continued to move that way since?
Well, yeah, as soon as I got some light on me, that's when I decided, like, this is how I'm carrying it, you know, like, I'm going to keep this brand to this standard at all times. Yeah. Like, and that goes with, like, whatever it is, your flyers, your graphic art, your videos, your content on social media, all of that, you know, it just got to be held and maintained at a certain level. So I definitely decided that once I got some light on me, like we're keeping it at this. And even before I had some light on me, I always wanted the best type of videos, flyers, just, you know, look with the brand that I could have at all times. Never take the cheap route, you know.
Sick. Love, man. Thank you so much for doing this. We saw the show last night. It was incredible. And yeah, shout out Millyz. Love.